right, this is video number 2 on short-term missions. Again, if you missed the first one, we are focusing specifically on Zimbabwe. We're a church in Johnston, Iowa, a suburb of Des Moines, and we go to Zimbabwe every year. We take a team there. It's a different team every year. It's a different purpose, different thing. And so we're specifically talking about that. So some of the stuff maybe only applies there. Maybe it doesn't apply to where you're taking your church, but you might get some hints and helpful thoughts from this. I want to talk about forming a team. Because, like I say, it's a different team. We go for 2 weeks, so not everybody can take 2 weeks off, and they certainly can't do it every year because that also eats up in their personal time and family time and other things going on. We have many people. We definitely have many people who will have repeat, but I've never had people go year after year, except college students that I have. But how do you form a team? The first thing I'm going to say is pray. And that should be obvious, but sometimes we miss the obvious. We're so busy focused on, I gotta get this thing filled, I gotta get this team. Just sit back and pray, relax. God already knows who he wants on the team. God already knows what's gonna happen and who's gonna be there and what he has going on. So you sit back and relax, let God lead this, and pray for whoever God wants on your team. This last year, we just came back a couple weeks ago from Zimbabwe. Our team, it took forever to get settled, and I was tempted to get worried and upset and think, oh no, what's going to happen? And I kept thinking, you know what, it's God's, don't worry about it. So I relaxed, and it was a smaller team than normal, which was by design. And like 2 weeks before we left, one of the people on the team had an emergency surgery, and all of a sudden they were out. The doctor said, nope, you can't go. And we're thinking, oh no, now we're down another one. What are we going to do? And all of a sudden the mission calls up and says, hey, we got someone who's going to go over as an intern. Can they be on your team? We're like, yes. And so it's like God knew that a year ago before we even started working on this team, and it ended up being a terrific team. The team was perfect. They worked hard. They accomplished some major goals that we've never accomplished there before, and God put that team together. So pray about it. Let God lead the thing. Let God worry about it. I would suggest you work with a missionary or a ministry. That's what we do. And I always communicate with them first, say, what size team do you want this year? I mean, we'll take as many as we can. How many can you handle is usually how I put it. And depending on if there's elections, which in a third world country, that can make things a little interesting with a bunch of white people running around, or if there's other circumstances I'm not aware of. So we'll line that up first with the mission. That's why we had a shorter team this year, because of some local things going on. So work with them. They know what needs to be done. They know how many people they can handle effectively. I mean, we don't want to bring 15 people if they only have room for 12, and all of a sudden you're like, what do we do with the other 3? You know, they're sleeping on the floor. There's no restrooms. I mean, things like that. So get the size from the mission. What we'll do is we'll hold an information meeting. Like I already know when our next information meeting is. We'll invite as many people as possible here. Come, and here's the vision for this next year's mission trip. And we don't have a team yet, and I'll get people to ask that, hey, if you want to be on it, let me know. Jump on the team. We'll talk about the vision. We'll talk about what we're going to accomplish this year. We'll talk about some of the costs, some of the basic answers. We'll have the dates so they can start checking with work. Can I have that off next year? And that type of thing. Basic information. So that's a key thing. And then just start inviting people. Invite people that you've been praying, right? So you've been praying, and just say, God, who do you want on this team? And start inviting people that maybe you wouldn't invite normally, or people that you might not even want on the team that you're like, oh, I don't know. God might have a purpose there. Just invite. Let them say no. All right, that's how I approach it. So you invite all kinds of people. I would give a caution for people who have like a mission bucket list, and like, I don't know, they have a calendar on the wall or a map on the wall where they're putting all the places where they've served Jesus. Well, I was over here, and then I go to Haiti, and then come over here to the Caribbean, and now I go to Europe, and I haven't done Africa yet. And that seems to be more about them than mission. So be careful of them. I have had some of those on my team, and they've done well, but they also tend to not get what we're doing as well as other people. So that's just a caution for you. I'd put them on the lower tier of people as far as priority to be on the team. You want a good mix of people. If you know your purpose, you know what you're looking for. Since we do teaching type mission trips, I'm looking for people who can work well with children, who can handle a vacation Bible school, who can handle 1,000 kids showing up, who can handle complete, absolute change of everything on a dime, because sometimes it just happens. You have this plan, and it's like, nope, we're gonna do something else once we get there. You want to have that. We talk about that quite a bit in our meetings, so that you have people that are very organized, and that would drive them crazy. That's okay, bring them along. It's a great learning experience for them. But you want people that are good with kids, people that are good with adults. We bring people that are good with like games and sports and things like that, and they're always like thinking, I don't have any value, I can't preach. It's like, you know what? You're bringing in children and giving them something to do, and you're setting them up to hear a lesson. You're very valuable. Every single person on the team is extremely valuable. I just gave out the snacks. You know what? You were interacting with the children. You were giving them food that they may not have had for a day or two, and you're another reason kids are coming into this, where they get to hear the gospel from someone who is teaching. So you need all of it. You need all of it. And again, God has a way of putting the perfect team together. I would invite. I often do invite leaders from other churches and say, hey, if you guys want to do this, come along, see how we do it, then you can do your own thing, however you want to do it. But part of that is to kind of spread the vision, let other people jump on board and see it's not that difficult to do this, but it does take planning, it does take work, and let them be in the inside to see how that works, and then that's great. We have had some leaders of other churches that have done it, so invite them. Once we have a team set, I will set an executive team within that team. So I get someone who is in charge of the children's stuff. What will happen, and actually I failed to do that this year. I just something kind of fell apart there, and we sat there in the larger meeting, brainstorming lessons and stuff. And some of the people there, they don't care, so they don't have input, because I'm not teaching lessons. I don't even know how to add to this. They don't care. They just don't have anything to add. So it makes the meetings less meaningful, a little bit more boring. And so a big hint there is to have an executive team, or whatever you call it. So you have someone in charge of the adults, someone in charge of the children, someone in charge of the travel, someone in charge of finances. And then we'll meet for an hour or so first, and then we'll go to the meeting, and we can have bigger team meetings. And we'll talk about team meetings here in one of these videos as well. But that's in a nutshell how to form a team. Do a lot of asking. Ask people that you'd never expect. Don't think they have to be perfect. Well, if they're going to be a missionary, they got to look like the Apostle Paul. They can look like anybody, and God can use them. So pray and ask, and God will put a team together. Don't worry about it. He'll make it happen. All right, that's all for this video. We're going to talk about the next video, how to put a plan together, how to make sure you have a purpose for your trip. It's amazing the impact that you can have if you keep building on previous years. I've seen it myself, and that's why we do it that way. All right, that's it for this video. I'm going to look at some specific things about how to put this thing together here in the next other videos. They'll probably be a little shorter, and just to give you ideas, and we're going to go from there.